So we're going to continue the sicha of acharei kedoshim, tafshin and aleph. This is a very fundamental sicha where the Rebbe explains the word geula and the aleph that's added to the word geula. That's the chiddush of the sicha. And here, the main thing in oster aleph is that Rebbe makes it practical, brings it down, b'poel mamish, what this means in a person's aveda every day. Let's see. Al pi or amrlei, based on what was explained there, what the word geula is. That it's the geula with the aleph inside the golus. Hatman arais kameli mudim. So we have a few different lessons in the to the aveda for Yidden to bring in the geula, regarding what it is that Yidden have to do in order to bring the geula. Or on wie men darf sich gereiten zu the geula. How should we prepare? Stehen die gibt's the mamish b'seifes man golus. Since now we are in the last moments of golus. Geula, which is the geula. Und halten dig ot by the geula. We're just about ready to usher in the redemption.
When was it said?
Tafshin and Aleph, yeah. Kaidem kol. So the first point here is as follows. Hatman an emphe. So based on what we learned here, you have an answer. So die was wundern sich, for those that wonder und schrecken sich. And actually some are actually afraid. The fun from the fact was mishturim that the Rebbe is storming all the time, as yed the yid of tonim peilen, as the gulas will come and take it from Yad Mamish, that we have to do everything in our hands to bring Mashiach immediately. Und seien dich often mentioned, people are very open and express themselves freely. So people express even verbally, and they say what their concern is and what their wonder is, and it's as follows. Shas Mashiach wird bald kommen. Mashiach is about to arrive. So was wird sein, fragen sie. So the question they ask is, what's going to be mit alle Polis and Sachen, was aufgetan b'meshach kama v'kama shanim and galus. All of the activity and all of my life and everything that I invested in over here in the time of galus was settled. We're invested. You have a house, you have a family, you have business, you have properties. And we're here. We're very much invested in galus life. The Geschäften, was sie haben aufgebaut, the business a person built up, the Rechosh und the Chassan, was sie haben geschaffen, your properties, your possessions that you earned, the friends you have in Verbindungen, the connections you have. All of a sudden, Mashiach is going to come. No more connections. Sei zwischen jeden zwei, zwischen Umasailam. Amongst Yidden and amongst Goyim as well, you have all kinds of connections. Was sie haben bekommen that you have achieved. Du befragt Eskane Zibber. The Askanim, they have the best connections. So if you're an Askin, you may say to yourself, Mashiach, I'll be demoted. Similar other kinds of questions that people, whether they say it verbally or might think it to themselves, whether consciously or subconsciously, people have this question. Am I sure I really want Mashiach? Am I not so happy with my position where I am now in Golos, with everything I have and with my connections?
So what about everything that the Rebbe said at the beginning of the secret?
Which is?
That nothing is going to change.
Is there emphasis of them? So based on what we learned before, we have the answer. As there's nothing to be afraid of. Now, 1 second, before we come to the Rebbe's answer, what should be the answer to this question? You would think the answer to this question is Shaita. I'm telling you, Mashiach is coming. I'm telling you, a Beis HaMikdash is going to be brought down, and Chiyas HaMesim, all the Avos, and the Rabbeim, and all the great revelations. And this fool is worried about his own little petty things, in contrast, relative to the great things.
Not going to need it.
When those great things will happen, you'll see that there's no value to those little things you have. That's what the answer should be, no? Right. But it's not the answer that Rebbe gives, though. The Rebbe says, even going into your little petty mind and you're concerned about your business, your house, your accomplishments, your connections, you can take it all along. When Mashiach comes, everything is going to come along. That's the Rebbe's answer. It's a different answer. Let's see. Nothing to bring afraid about. The word geula is nit taich. It does not mean as vert bottle kommen hoge shalayla, that all of the conduct, whatever is a custom in the world, is gone. The gute Sachen was an aufgetan geworden, al pitayre and galus. All good things that were accomplished in the times of galus, so all those things will be gone. That's not true. So just pay attention to what the Rebbe is saying here. Obviously, if there's anything that's negative of those things that are in Zman HaGalus, definitely they will be gone when Mashiach comes. But from all the positive things a person has, his family, his house, his business, and all those things which are being used properly and appropriately, and Shem Shemayim. So all those things, what's going to happen to them? Adarab, on the contrary, Geula is in sich kailal alle in yonim tevim fun Geula. Geula, redemption, will include in it all of the positive accomplishments of the Geula itself. Not only will you have them, but you'll have them actually even elevated. You'll be able to get even more out of your business, more out of what you have on a higher level. It's a matzah from Geula. You'll see it in the light of redemption. So everything you have now will come to a much greater level and a much higher completion. When you reveal the source of everything, revealing the Aleph, the master of the universe, and everything you have, which is the emese, kavana, the tachlis, the real purpose, and the Aleph Polish of Bismana Golas of all your activity in the time of Golas. Ultimately, everything a Yid has, the house he owns, the business he owns, it's all for what purpose? So that Yidden are rich, and the Yidden could show the honor and the glory of Hashem, and the Yidden could serve Hashem, barchava, with expansiveness, broadness. So it's all coming along, and adarabah, being utilized in the greatest fashion when Mashiach comes. Mortgages, whether the mortgage is going to be bottled or not, you want to know?
It'll be paid off.
Same rate?
It'll be paid off.
Your fixed rate.
What do you
Fixed
have money
rate.
for? You
No,
have everything
no
you
balloon.
need.
Teva Olam, though,
It's going to continue.
it's going to continue, right?
You're going to still have
Still
to
have to
make a
pay.
living.
You're going to have to pay bills. You're going to have to make a living. Yeah.
Cost of living.
Teva Olam is still going to
Down
stay.
2 coffers
That's in
later.
a later stage. Only at a later stage.
Right,
First
then it
stage,
comes
it's all
from
coming
Bamazet.
along. What?
Comes from Bamazet, everything's going to be stay the same for 40 years.
For a while, for a pretty long while,
When does
correct.
the Chush Gadol start?
Best is yet to come.
So therefore, the Rebbe says, "Hat man et was zu deigen." You have nothing to be worried about wegen the peulas, about all of those activities. Afilip bin Yoni Rishus, even your own personal, private, permissible activities you did for yourself. Was mat aufgetan al pi Teira bisman Golas, of what you've accomplished, all within the framework of Teira, everything you have in the time of Golas. V'adarabbe, on the contrary, the fun hat man deira. You have an important lesson over here. As yeder balesek v'chayetzi b'zeh, every business owner, and so on, a person that whatever he has in possessions or whatever he's doing in his life, darf suchen wegen, so knowing that he's bringing everything along to the Geula. It's not like the business I do and my lifestyle now is Gola's Digga lifestyle, and I have to sort of prepare myself to leave this behind. So if I have to prepare myself to leave this behind, so that what does that really tell you? That this occupation we're doing in the time of Golos is a necessary evil, and it's sort of this thing that we unfortunately have to engage in, and we have to prepare ourselves to disengage the moment Mashiach comes. So the Rebbe says, no, the important lesson over here for a business owner is that he has to see the fact that whatever the Rebbe gave him in the time of Golos is good, it's positive, utilize it, elevate it, prepare to bring it along with you. So therefore, darf suchen wegen, wie zu megale sein in seine Eisek v'chulu k'fayda shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Adarabah, prepare for the fact that your business and everything is coming along with you to the times of Mashiach, and therefore start preparing now to reveal the glory of Hashem in your business. Und auszunutzen seine Geschäften und Chassim, to utilize your business, your possessions, und Verbindungen, and your connections, zum Meister seine Torah mitzvahs, only to increase in learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. The fun is verstandig the hayra leidachisa. Now, based on this, we also have another important lesson on the other side of the equation here. Fadivas meinen. So there are those that may think, as the Aveide von Geula besteht, von nit haben zu tun und shel sein und hagish leilam. Just like there are those that say, I can't let go from Golos. I'm so comfortable in this lifestyle here, and I'm not interested in leaving it. There are those that say the opposite. I'm so disgusted by Golos. I'm done with this. Get me out of here. And they're ready to be elevated to some otherworldly planet, to go to a place where they're disassociated with all the worries and shtussim and whatever's going on in Golos. That's the opposite side of the equation of people that may say that. It says Adarabe. So over here, what they have to know is that the opposite is true. The Geula is totally dafke masenev, the same as mana Golos. Don't look, don't try to disconnect, don't try to just run away from Golos, the work and the preparation. No, it's going to happen through your work and through your preparation today. On the Rebbe, going back to the Mishnah of Pirkei Avos that I've quoted earlier in the sicha, the The Mishnah says you have to remember always to pay attention to 3 points. What are the 3 points? The Avodah to bring Geula, the Avodah of bringing Mashiach, Daf Bashtein, has to consist of, here the Rebbe quotes a pasuk that was quoted earlier in the sicha. We didn't learn that part of the sicha, but the pasuk that it says by Yaakov Avinu when he was fighting with the malach of Esav. So the pasuk there says, Sarisa imalakim va'anoshim va'tuchal, that you have taken control over an angel and you had the ability to overcome him. What the Rebbe is saying over here is, what was the shloisha dvarim? The Rebbe explained earlier in the sicha. Not only should a person think about himself and Hashem and disconnect from the world, but think about the challenges of the world as well and engage with the world and bring along the things of the world. And therefore, to create a dwelling for Hashem in the world below, and zugreiten die Welt zu der Gula, preparing the world for redemption, Take and anayfim from Sarisam Lakim Vanoshim, that you have to fight and then you can overcome even a malach, Mulchama haben mit dem Helen Vahesta von Eilam, to fight against the darkness of the world, aber beifim from Vatuchal. But not a fight where you are the underdog or you have to feel like that you're weak. No, you're strong, you're mighty, and you can overcome the challenges. And here the Rebbe, it's interesting how the Rebbe brings in this pasuk here. I mean, it's actually the nusach of davening. Sometimes when a person has Kabbalah soil, it comes with a feeling of like a krecht. Oh, never have to do this mitzvah. Never have to go run to daven after. And so that's a Kabbalah soil with a krecht. But the Rebbe is quoting the nusach of the davening, that we should begin thinking of the fact that it's the greatest opportunity we have to serve Hashem. It's the greatest moment of our day when you can open up a siddur and talk to Hashem, to do it willingly, to do it happily. That's the real Aveda of the time of Golus, to start preparing to the true connection we have with Hashem. Start with your portion in the world that the Eibishter gave you. Add more mitzvahs, mit dvarim gashmiyim, and the mitzvahs you do have to include physical interaction with gashmiyas, the good things. Kailol, including in b'miyuchad, and especially mitzvahs tzedakah, to do more tzedakah, ikker, mitzvahs ha'maisiyas. This is the Alter Rebbe's lashon and Tanya. Tzedakah is the main of all mitzvahs, most important. As nennt von seine gashmiyas and seine shirres, to take from your gashmiyas and from your wealth, with welche the Eibishter benchen, of which Hashem benches you with, on helfen atzveiten, to assist another. As beim Zweiten soll euch sein Mosen Levushim, another should have the food he needs, the clothing he needs, Beifim from the Chavadul to Fares. It should be honorable and beautiful for him. Every Yid deserves to be treated like a Kayan, like a priest in the Beis HaMikdash. To add more help to assist the Meistis in the community, Torah and Tzedakah and so on. And also to bring in the Eibishter into your own personal life. Everything you do should be for the sake of heaven and knowing Hashem and what you do. Another important point, preparing for Mashiach, is spreading Torah and Yiddishkeit, spreading the wellsprings of Chassidus outward. Especially to inspire Yidden all over the world, as and wherever you come, to inspire people you meet to learn more Torah and to add another mitzvah. And even to publicize to the entire world, which includes even Goyim, the fact that there's a creator and there's a master, there's a boss to this world. So that includes even Goyim. To influence Goyim you meet, to fulfill the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nei Noach, to prepare them to the day when the Eibishter's kingdom will be all over the entire world, without any exception. The Kitzur, the Rebbe doesn't want to leave anything or anyone out. Not anything, the Rebbe doesn't want to leave anything out in your own personal life. Everything and anything you have is all coming along. Everything is coming along, from your house to your car to your motorcycle to whatever it is. It's all coming. And everything has to be connected. If it's all coming, so then it's coming, you got to start preparing to be connected to what it's going to be like. And also the entire world, including all Goyim, everybody has to come to this recognition of Ha'isal Havayam Lucha. Apianal, time is it? You know what, let's go over to the Rebbe in the next few ICs here talks about what happened in that time period. I'm not exactly sure what it is that happened in the summer of 1991, where the Rebbe speaks about that the American government sent the army somewhere overseas to help people. No. This is following the Gulf War. This is following the Gulf War. I'm not sure what this was. This is in Somalia, maybe? No, I don't think so. Somalia was in Clinton's times. Somewhere that they sent over an army to help people that were suffering and people that just to save them from some kind of I don't remember what this was.
No,
and then,
that war was cool. It was in the Kuwait.
but I mean,
that was Gulf War.
it was already. They put him. The war was over.
Falkland War, wasn't it the Falkland War?
No, Falkland was England.
I'll call upon him. So that's what the Rebbe speaks about in between over here. So let's go to the last ice of the sicha, where the Rebbe drives the point home. In B'Payal Mamish, what it is that we have to do. Ice Yud Dalet.
Panama, maybe?
Maybe. That was Bush, yeah.
That's about the...
Kenza. The Maskana from the Amaleel Benegay Lepayal. Ice Yud Dalet. I'm on page 518, Ice Yud Dalet. The conclusion of everything we said before, practically. The Giola kommt, when does Mashiach come? If you work for it, if you prepare for it, from the galas then alufa shalaylam and gaila, by bringing the Eibishter into galas. Azai as der zeh der achren in galas. So now that this generation, the last generation of galas, but zayin the der rish from galas, should become the first generation of redemption. And the Eibishter helped, and Hashem is helping us as mezetten the mirois achrenis bailam that we see in the latest occurrences in the world. Wie the Welt allein is Messiah and 40 the Gula, that the world is assisting and bringing us closer to Mashiach. One of the main things that Rebbe speaks about is that we're learning, that we're living, that is, in a Medina Shal Chesed, that Rebbe said so often about America. It's a country of goodness and kindness. Ubepashtus meintas. So simply what this means, kanal, as was said before, the Rebbe reiterates, as yed de yid, add something more. B'chlal, generally, to something that will bring Mashiach. In limud ha-teire b'nyani geula, to study a subject regarding the Geula, what we're doing right now, in Teirish B'Ksav, whether you learn it in Teirish B'Ksav, what's called as Sfarim, Maleim B'Dovazeh. The expression of the Rambam is that all of the Sfarim of Teirish B'Ksav and Tanakh are filled with the subject speaking about Geula and Mashiach. On Teirish B'Peh, or to learn about Mashiach in Teirish B'Peh, Mishnah, Gemara, or Midrashim, there's so much to learn about Mashiach. Ubezed gufa daf from Meisav Zayin up here from Pesach Sheni is the talking for Fallon to add based on the lesson of Pesach Sheni that it's never too late. So Machana Cheshbon Tzedek that a person should make an honest assessment. Have you taken care of your own avodah the way it's supposed to be? Or the mechanic noch zugeben? Is there something more I can improve? So you have the lesson and the Eibishter empowers you. As a Philip Satepske felt. If there's something that was lacking till now, is netach kim verfallen. It's never too late. We can alle mal mesaken sein. You can always rectify. And then most importantly, as es on der Skala, wenn es staken werden alle in Yonim, was weiß sich heißt, es ist eine verloren gegangen. You should have the ability to improve and to fix even those things that seem to be long gone and you gave up hope on them. Or there's an attack verloren gegangen in Golos. Things that are really lost in Golos, are things that are lost in the positive sense that they're so high and they're sort of out of our reach because it's such a high level. And we feel like I can never reach that level. So it's lost in the good sense. They're Gilia Kate, so Galia, revealing the time, the end of when Mashiach comes, which is a secret, which is the Eibishter does not express and reveal this. When exactly the moment is that Mashiach is going to come. Gemara says Mashiach comes when nobody's paying attention, when everybody feels like forget about it, it's not happening. All of a sudden he shows up. Like when you find a lost object. Shenema, the pasuk says, Matsasi David Avdi. I find David my servant, that it comes as a mitzvah. The mizbah Peites Petil, that was the mizbah of that year of the Rebbe. And the Zvet is Gala in the mizbah Tzadik, and this is revealed as we see in the pasuk of Mizmah Tzadik, where it says, "V'yinoyam Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu," the sweetness of Hashem should be upon us. Ma'isi Yedena Kainu Aleinu, Ma'isi Yedena Kainu, which refers to building the Beis Hamikdash, the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi, the Gula Amitis Vashlema, the Geulah from Alle Yidden, the redemption of all of Klal Yisrael. B'nareinu, b'skeneinu, goyim b'baneinu, b'bneiseinu. Take it from Yad Mamish. If you can just take one more moment, we're only learning for 19 minutes and 20 seconds. So let's take one more moment and look into Order 120. There's a very interesting footnote here where the Rebbe speaks about this expression of the Rambam. The page before, Order 120, there's a very interesting order. Not the last page of the sicha, but page 518, page before. Page Order 120. So the Rambam says that all of the Sfarim of Tanakh are Malayin B'Davazeh. It's all full with the subject of Mashiach. What exactly does that mean, that they're all full? In Chumash, you have Mashiach mentioned basically twice. You have it in Parshas Balak, where the Nevuah of Bilam speaks about Mashiach, and you also have in Parshas Nitzavim, where it speaks about Shafti and whatever, where it speaks about Mashiach. And even that is not 100% clear. You have in Nach, you have Morph, and you have Yeshaya and Daniel and much more places, but you can't really say Malayim B'Davazeh, that it's every parsha is full with the subject of Mashiach. How could the Rambam use such an expression?
But every turn you take, it tells you this goes on Mashiach. That goes the Mefarshim.
Okay, maybe B'derech Remez, correct. So here, let's see what the Rambam. Also Mashiach, correct. Right at the beginning, Bereshis, correct, true.
The Daniel of Yehuda's children.
Yehuda, Peretz, and so on is the great grandfather of Mashiach. Yeah, it's true.
What do you see?
Well, in Gemara you have here and there, but also not mamish, all the time. So let's see what the Rebbe says now at 120. Why does the Rambam use such a strong expression that it's full? Shemale al pitayra, usually the term male, full, according to Torah, pirusha shemale kulay. When something is completely full. If you have a cup of water and you say it's full of water, it means it's full to the top. It's totally full. That means that every chumash, it's all full of Mashiach. What this means is, shegama psukim b'chol asfarim, even those psukim in all the svarim of Chumash and the Nevi'im, Aksuvim, she'ena medabrim begala binyani gula, even if we don't see how it clearly is speaking about gula, there are definitely psukim that actually speak about the opposite of redemption. The psukim that speak about the Yidden going down to Mitzrayim, the suffering of the Yidden and so on, cheta egel, cheta meraglim, it's opposite of redemption. But what's the truth? Everything is leading up to one place. Everything is in the process. Even the suffering and everything we see in Chumash is all part of the process of redemption. If you think deeply and you analyze what these psukim are really speaking about, the Mefarshim, looking into Mefarshim and getting the deeper pshat, you'll discover how every single pasuk in Torah is connected to the point of speaking about Mashiach. For Yom Tak, this is even sweeter and better understood based on what we learned here in this sicha. What's really the essence of Golos itself? The inside of Golos is Geula. How do you reveal what the pnimius of Golos is? When you bring the Aleph in, it illuminates the darkness. It doesn't dispel the darkness. It sort of illuminates you. It allows you to see into what the darkness itself is. And so therefore the word Geula itself turns into Geula. It's the same thing with every pasuk in Chumash. If you learn Chumash with lichtige eyes, you're able to see redemption in every pasuk in Chumash. Just to give you one example, I've spoken about this a few times. Eicha, if you take from the entire Tanakh, which is the part of Tanakh which is like the most Gullus oriented? Eicha. Megillas Eicha is the Megillah that we read on Tisha B'Av, and that's the Megillah that speaks about the time when Yidden had the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. But the Tzemach Tzedek has Rishimis of Maimonim that he wrote on Eicha, and he goes through pasuk by pasuk, explaining every single pasuk what its positive meaning is, and how every pasuk is showing on the deep connection that Yidden have to the Eibishter. It goes through the whole thing. Unbelievable. So you think that you're reading Eicha, and you're lamenting the destruction, and it's something which is so negative, but those very psukim themselves, if you look at it with lichtige eyes, you can see redemption there. And that's what the Rambam is hinting when the Rambam says, Kol asfarim meleim b'davar.
Which is the Rishim of Tzedek?
It's printed in Eira Torah, sure. Printed in Eira Torah, yep. And it's mine from the Rabbi Eicha, correct as well, yes.
Why did you see the story of the son who paid the rent for extra time and the father got upset?
That what? That
Saying if it's coming from his law, so he paid the rent, so we're still gonna have to pay rent.
So still gonna have to pay rent, you say?
So I'm saying, why is he upset?
Okay, it's a shaila, huh? Maybe because everything that the Rambam speaks about and the Rebbe speaks about that it's going to be in Hagish Alaylam is if Mashiach comes in Eifen of Choi Zachu. Mashiach comes in Eifen of Zachu, that's going to be right away in the beginning. So I'm saying that story he was telling him that you should believe that Mashiach could come and he could come in the Eifen of Zachu. So then there won't be in Hagish Alaylam. The concept of elevating Galus will still apply, but it's going to be on a totally different level. Okay, so next week we're doing the next sicha, okay?